All right, everyone, get ready, because today we're going deep on building wealth.
Ooh, I like that.
Building wealth and making a financial plan to get to that lasting financial freedom.
Yes.
We are taking a look at how to create a financial plan for building wealth.
It's so interesting because I feel like so many people think of wealth as like this far off thing.
Yeah.
But a financial plan is all about like today's actions to shape the future.
Yeah, I love that. Taking control, being proactive.
Yeah.
So, like, where do we even start?
You start with your why.
Okay.
What are your financial goals?
Got it.
Like it's your roadmap to freedom.
So we're not just like, I want to be rich someday, right? We need specific measurable goals.
Exactly. The guide says to use the SMART framework.
Okay.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Love it.
So instead of just, I want to save more,
Right.
you would say, I want to save $10,000 for a down payment on a piece of land in 3 years.
I love that because that feels so much more
Yes.
like tangible.
Tangible.
Like I can achieve that.
Yeah. Yes.
But before we can even get to that saving part,
Yeah.
we have to figure out like where we even are right now.
Yes.
Like how do we do that?
It's like a financial checkup.
Okay.
You look at your income, your expenses, your assets, and your liabilities.
So like no judgment, just the facts.
Yeah, just the facts.
What are some like common misconceptions people have about this step?
I think a lot of people overcomplicate it and they get overwhelmed by trying to track every single penny or get discouraged if they don't like where they're starting from.
Yeah, makes sense.
But what it really comes down to is your net worth.
Okay.
What you own minus what you owe.
Why is knowing that number so important?
That's your baseline.
Okay.
So you know where you're starting from, and then as you
Got it.
make decisions and progress through your plan, you can see how it's impacting your net worth.
So it's like your starting weight before you start like a fitness journey or something like that.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, now for maybe a less fun topic, but something we all know we should be doing. Budgeting.
Yes.
Is there one method that like really stands out?
The guide talks about the 50-30-20 rule.
Okay.
50% of your after-tax income goes to essentials,
Okay.
your needs, housing bills, groceries.
Yeah, the stuff you got to pay.
Yeah, then 30% is for your wants.
Oh,
So you travel, entertainment, hobbies, all that good stuff.
yeah.
And then the last 20% is where the magic happens. That's for savings and debt repayment.
I've tried that before, and I like that it gives like a good overview,
Yeah.
but I also feel like I need more flexibility.
Right.
Are there ways to make this work for like different personalities and goals?
Absolutely. There are a ton of variations.
Okay.
Some people like the zero-based budget,
Okay.
where you assign every dollar a purpose.
Oh, interesting.
It depends on the person and their preferences.
Yeah, so it's more about just understanding like where your money's going.
Exactly.
So you can make choices that align with your goals.
Yes.
I love it. So, sometimes life happens
Yes.
and unexpected things come up.
Yeah.
Like the guy talks about emergency funds.
Yes. An emergency fund is like your financial shock absorber.
Okay.
Unexpected car repair, a sudden medical bill, temporary job loss.
Yeah, so it's things you don't plan for.
Right. And it can prevent you from going into debt.
Okay, so that peace of mind sounds really good.
Yeah.
But how much should we really be aiming for?
Mm.
And is it even possible when you're starting small?
They recommend 3 to 6 months of living expenses.
That seems like a lot.
It does, but the key is to start small and be consistent.
Oh.
Even just automating a small amount of savings each month can make a big difference over time.
It's like paying yourself first.
Exactly. And you don't even have to think about it. You just set up that automatic transfer from your checking to savings.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yes.
Now for something that can feel a little overwhelming,
Yeah.
debt.
Uh-huh.
It feels like this big roadblock to financial freedom.
It can be, but it's about the interest you're paying.
Okay.
That's money that could be going toward your wealth instead of against it.
So are we talking like aggressive repayment plans? Does it have to be painful?
Not necessarily. The guide mentions the avalanche and snowball methods.
I've heard of those, but remind me.
So avalanche, you prioritize high-interest debt first.
Okay.
And snowball, you focus on knocking out smaller balances first.
Okay, so avalanche is like the most efficient.
Yes.
But snowball is good for like morale.
Exactly.
So how do we decide?
It's about knowing yourself.
Got it.
If you're motivated by numbers, go avalanche.
Yeah.
If you like quick wins and need that motivation boost,
Yeah.
snowball's a good option.
So we've talked about taking stock budgeting, emergency fund, and debt. What's next?
Now we get to the fun part, saving and investing.
Ooh, yes. Let's get into that. Okay, saving and investing.
Yes.
That sounds good to me.
It's like we're moving from defense to offense.
I love that.
On the road to financial freedom.
Yes. So where do we even begin with that? Should we save first or just jump right into investing?
You kind of need both at the same time.
Okay.
Saving is your foundation for those short-term goals. Okay.
And like we talked about that emergency fund.
Yeah, makes sense.
And investing is more about long-term growth.
Okay, so investing, how do we even approach that? It can be so intimidating.
It can be, but it's really just putting your money to work for you.
Okay.
In things that could grow over time.
Okay. But like, how do we actually do that?
Well, the guide recommends starting with index funds and ETFs.
I always hear those terms, but I don't really know, like, the difference.
So an index fund is a type of mutual fund that tracks a specific market index.
Oh, okay.
Like the S&P 500.
I've heard of that.
So it's like you own a tiny piece of all 500 companies in that index.
Oh, so you're not picking individual stocks.
Exactly. It's a passive way to invest.
So you're just riding the wave of the whole market.
Pretty much.
What about ETFs?
So ETFs are similar to index funds. They track a specific index too.
Okay.
But they're traded on stock exchanges, like individual stocks.
Oh, okay.
Which makes them more flexible and usually cheaper.
Okay, so both good for beginners. Yeah, they're good starting points.
And I think maybe we'll talk about the more complicated stuff in another deep dive.
Yeah, we can do that.
But just starting with these basics is good.
Exactly.
You know, something I've been thinking about is the role of mindset in all of this.
Mindset is so important. Like,
it's not just about, like, knowing what to do.
It's about your beliefs and attitudes towards money.
Yes, exactly. So how do we, like, fix that if we have, like, a bad money mindset?
Well, first you got to be aware of it.
Okay.
Like, pay attention to your thoughts about money.
Got it.
And where did those beliefs come from?
Interesting.
Are they helping you or are they holding you back?
So then we, like, replace those bad thoughts with good ones.
Exactly. Like affirmations.
Okay.
Instead of saying, I'll never be able to afford that, you say, I'm working towards being able to afford that.
Yeah. It's like a subtle change.
It is, but it can make a big difference.
Also, I feel like sometimes all this financial stuff can be, like, kind of lonely.
It can be.
What about, like, community and sharing all this?
Oh, that's so important.
Yeah.
You don't have to do this alone.
Yeah.
Find people who support your goals.
Like a financial support group.
Exactly.
I love that.
Share your wins and struggles and learn from each other.
And we can, like, learn from each other's mistakes, too.
Exactly.
You know, one of the biggest things I've learned is it's not about being perfect.
Yes.
It's about making progress.
100%.
Like, we don't have to do everything perfectly right away.
Just make little changes every day.
It's like building a muscle.
Yeah.
You can't just go from couch potato to marathon runner overnight.
Exactly.
Small steps.
Small steps.
So what are some, like, pitfalls that people should look out for?
Oh, there are a few big ones.
Okay.
The first one is the comparison trap.
Oh, yeah.
It's so easy to compare yourself to others.
Especially with social media.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But everyone's journey is different.
Yeah, it's like comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20.
Exactly. Focus on your own path.
Love it.
Okay.
What else?
Another big one is lifestyle inflation.
Ooh, tell me more.
So it's when you increase your spending as your income grows.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
You get a raise and suddenly you need a bigger house or a fancier car.
Yeah, it's like keeping up with the Joneses, but with yourself.
Exactly.
So how do we avoid that?
Be intentional with your spending.
Okay.
Before you buy something, ask yourself, do I really need this or am I just trying to keep up appearances?
I like that. So spend money on what's actually important to you.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Don't be afraid to ask for professional help.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people try to do it all themselves.
Right, but sometimes you need an expert.
When should we call in the pros?
When you need personalized advice or help with complex decisions.
Like a financial coach in your corner.
Exactly.
But what are the costs of that?
There are affordable options like robo-advisors.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
They use algorithms to give you financial advice.
So it's like a digital financial advisor.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, so we talked about experts, but what about just like learning about all this ourselves?
Financial literacy is crucial.
Oh, yeah, like the more we know,
the better decisions you can make.
Yeah.
And the more you can avoid those common money mistakes.
Exactly. It's like giving ourselves that financial education.
Yes.
So we feel confident to manage our money.
Yes. And there are so many resources available to help you learn.
Like what?
Books, podcasts, online courses, workshops.
It's like opening up a whole new world.
It is. It's empowering.
Yeah. Wow. You know, as we're wrapping up this deep dive, I'm realizing this is about so much more than just like money.
Yeah. It's about like what we value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like aligning our money goals with the life we want to live.
Exactly. It's not the other way around.
Yeah, I love that.
It's empowering to think that financial freedom isn't just for like a select few.
Anyone can do this.
Yeah, anyone can.
If they make the right choices.
It's about taking control.
Yes, exactly.
And designing a life that feels good to you.
So it's about using our money to support our dreams, not the other way around.
Exactly.
You know, we talk a lot about like building wealth for ourselves and our families, but how can we use this for like the greater good?
That's so important.
Yeah.
As we build wealth, we have a chance to give back to our communities and support causes that we care about.
So it's like taking that financial freedom and using it to do good in the world.
Exactly.
Whether it's donating or investing in like social enterprises.
Yes.
Or supporting local businesses.
There are so many ways to make a difference.
Even small things can make a big impact.
They really can.
It's really about finding that connection between your money and your values.
Yeah.
I think that's so powerful.
It's about leaving a legacy
Yeah.
of generosity and compassion.
And like using our money wisely to create a better future.
Exactly.
Not just for us, but for everyone.
For everyone.
This conversation has really like changed the way I think about all this.
Yeah.
It's not just about reaching a certain number. No. It's about using our money to live a better life.
Yes, a more fulfilling life.
Exactly. And that's something we should all strive for.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything in this deep dive into building wealth.
Yeah, we talked about the practical steps.
And the mindset.
And the bigger meaning.
I really hope everyone listening feels inspired to take control of their finances.
Me too.
And create that life they love.
And remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress.
Yes.
And don't be afraid to ask for help.
There's so much support out there.
There is.
Any last words of wisdom for our listeners? Like, what's the one thing you want them to take away from this?
Start today.
Yes.
Don't wait for the perfect time. Just take a small step and keep going.
I love that action is key.
It is.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into building wealth and creating a life of financial freedom.
It was my pleasure.
And we'll see you next time for another exciting exploration.